So, hey guys, welcome back to season 1, episode 2 of Cashin the Check.
Cashin the Check.
I'm your host, Tyler Asher from the Small Business Development Center.
And I'm your co-host, Tiffany Anton from the Biz Foundry.
You could be AKA partner in crime.
Just to pause for a second, not real pause, keep rolling your audio, but let's talk for a second about the previous ideas of naming this podcast. And so we are Tyler and Tiffany, obviously. And so one of the ideas was TNT.
Blowing up your business.
Blowing up your business.
Or TA squared.
TA squared, because we're both TA, Tyler Asher, Tiffany Anton. Multiplying your business. So Cashin the Check was a thing. I guess comment in the comments and let us know if maybe those were better options of our...
I really like TNT.
Yeah.
That was kind of my go-to, and she squashed that.
I did like TA. I think it's very interesting that we are both TAs. But anyway, so I'll let you wear the pants.
So our followers loved our last segment that we did on the podcast, and now we decided that you guys liked it so much, we're going to move it to the front.
Our fun business facts.
We're going to get our ducks in a row.
Get our ducks in a row.
This is awesome.
So we're going to have we're smooth ironing things out, and we're making things smoother, and
we have no idea what we're doing. Let's just be honest.
Ducks in a row.
I like ducks in a row. That's a great business term. How many times have you heard people say, "I want to get all my ducks in a row before I do something"?
I hate all business terms, but
you don't like at the end of the day, or drinking the Kool-Aid.
I just want people to talk normal. But
hey, we're just going to circle back to that.
Right. Yeah. Deliverables.
This is a great ecosystem. Let's pivot.
We had a bingo. We made a Biz Foundry magazine, and we had a bingo card of the stupid things that people say in business meetings. And I really I think you should do this. Do you have bigger meetings where there's maybe 20, 30 people?
Possibly. We got something working.
You should play bingo and see how many you can mark off, and then just yell bingo in the middle of the meeting.
Stand up and just knock the table over and be like, bingo!
Right. And then, but the people kind of running it don't know what's going on, and they're like, what? And then, yeah.
They would be like, what is this loser doing standing up?
It would be a lot of fun. So our ducks in a row, business facts.
Business facts. Now we're gonna circle back to getting our ducks in a row here. In 2000, this company...
The year 2000.
Okay. This company had the opportunity to purchase a small company called Netflix for $50 million. What company was that?
What company was bigger than Netflix in 2000?
Got to go back to your glory days.
Blockbuster.
That is correct. Woo! So Blockbuster had the opportunity to purchase Netflix for $50 million. Now, we go back to our previous episode. That was a quick decision that someone should have made.
Yeah, for sure. They did not need to ask for any permission to spend...
you should have just bought it.
$50 million.
Next one is really good. In 1974, FedEx was on the verge of bankruptcy. It was saved when the founder took the last $5,000 of the company's asset and turned it into $32,000 by gambling in Las Vegas.
I think I would.
Would you do that with your... That's like gambling with your company. Would you do that?
Mm-mm. I would definitely ask for permission before I did that. I would definitely.
If you're listening in the comments below, put if you would gamble. I mean, that's kind of like gambling on your business. I mean,
there's a gamble of man, am I going to spend $5,000 on a billboard? That's a gamble. Or am I going to literally take this money and just put it out there? And are those different? They seem very different to me, but as I'm speaking these words, maybe it's not different.
You take a gamble. I feel like you take a gamble on yourself every day.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling lucky, why not gamble it on the business? But look at where FedEx is now.
Right.
I mean, they're humongous. Oh, this is a good one.
Ready?
What percentage of small businesses are owned and operated by a single person?
32.7.
That's incorrect. It's a lot higher than that.
A lot higher. 72.5.
70%.
Wow.
That's kind of shocking if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, what qualifies as a small business? The Small Business Development Center director, tell me.
The Small Business Administration classifies a small business as 500 employees or less. Which you think about, we live in Upper Cumberland. That's
98% of our companies.
I think it's 91 or 92% of our small businesses are that way.
What?
I mean, but that's a lot. I mean, you think, someone has I got 200 employees. Well, technically,
in the Upper Cumberland, we do not think that that's small whatsoever.
No, that's big.
That's a big company in the Upper Cumberland. That is really interesting, and that's why we are so busy. Both you and I.
Yeah.
Because there's so many small
That's why
businesses.
we had to block off all this time to record these podcasts.
Right.
This one, I don't know if this one's true or not. So, like, when we talk about this, I'd love to have comments about this next business fact. It says entrepreneurs are usually better educated than their parents. What do you think about that? What's your thoughts on that?
I think the qualification of educated probably needs to be defined, because I think my education background, I was a high school teacher, but I think that not everybody needs to go to college, but sometimes people think that that's what educated means.
I agree.
I don't think that that's what educated means. So if that's what they're kind of saying there, I think that entrepreneurs are maybe sometimes the people who formal education thinks are kind of the misfits.
I agree, because to me, even when I like do stuff for what I consider like my
man glitter.
I count hours of like when I watch other people do YouTube videos. Like I'm educating myself on doing things. Like we talked about this. We listen to other podcasts or we read books. Is that not? I would consider that educating myself on my business.
A thirst for knowledge. Maybe entrepreneurs have a thirst for knowledge. That might. I could.
But do you think that's because they always want to like?
I can double down on that. Is that?
These crazy business terms. We're just going to move on to the big picture, and we're going to jump right into one of our main segments today. When you go to do business with someone, does their attire affect your ability, or do you think differently, or does it not make you want to do business with them because they're maybe dressed a certain way? Or maybe we can even go any further, like they have tattoos.
Ooh.
So like we'll just go
for
on down
those people on the video.
I think people get a bad rep for that.
Interestingly enough, so I also have my nose pierced, which is not, I don't know, like, because I dress professionally, but I have thought that before. Like I have my nose pierced, and that's probably a little taboo. I don't, but then I think maybe some people have said, I don't even really notice it. But I'm sure in some cases, those kind of things will be turnoffs. But I think that there is some standard of business care of if you're going to go pitch your services to somebody and you're wearing Adidas slides.
So I come from the insurance background, and I followed a lot of groups. There's a lot of conversation topic about this, to where you move from days to where everyone came in and made an appointment and then met with you, to where people have no problem doing business over email and phone and even Zoom calls, to where you could be a little more casual in the office. Now, I think there are some settings where you need to wear a suit? Absolutely. If you're an attorney going to court, I think you probably should want to wear a suit. Yeah. But if you're an attorney and you're meeting with clients in your office, would I find it presentable that you wore jeans and a polo shirt? Yeah, I probably would be okay with. I'm not going to.
Well, and I feel like that maybe you're a little bit more relatable and approachable from your customers. Definitely depends on your customers.
I agree, because one of the biggest cases I wrote when I was in the insurance field was I didn't write it in the office. I wrote it sitting on a 5-gallon bucket helping a farmer shuck some corn, because I'd been taught how to shuck corn, and so
do people not know how to shuck corn? Is that a thing?
Some people probably don't.
Oh,
I was taught how to break beans, and
I don't know.
I can remember sitting on the front porch at my grandparents. That was something we did in those big metal bowls, and that's what you put them in. Anyways, back to the big picture.
The big picture. So yeah, I think definitely your business attire is somewhat important, but I think you can kind of go the other way. There's definitely times where I come to the office and maybe I have heels on, and people are like, "What are you doing today? Where are you going?" And maybe you come in with a suit, a tie on, and people think, "Well, he must have something important." And it's like,
if you came dressed up all the time, do people look at you differently versus if you're like, you wear like, let's say like slacks and a button-up shirt, or like today, jeans and a polo? Do you think people think you're more important, less important?
As much as it can feel like maybe it's not as relatable to customers, I think that there is some sort of like respect of, oh, well, she must be important because she's got a dress, she's got a dress and heels on. Or, when I host a group of women together, the women that seem more dressed up or put together, it's like, well, they must have some.
I could see that, because to me, if you see someone like that's wearing a suit all the time, you think, man, they're important. What do they do?
For sure. With men, you don't. I mean, yeah. If you have a tie on, Michael Akins wears a sport coat all the. I guess somebody said he's been kind of more casual, but he's always so dressed up, and I think he just kind of likes that look. But
from my perspective, maybe I'm wrong to say this, but I feel a little different when I do wear a suit. Like I feel like I have a little more more uppity, kind of like, all right.
Like uppity sounds bad. So do you feel bad in a suit, or do you feel like more like professional and more?
I feel more professional.
You hold yourself to a higher standard.
Yeah, I feel like I have a higher standard when I wear a suit, when I'm going into a meeting and you're dressed up. I think there's a little bit of confidence behind that. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's why some people do it a lot. I think it's a confidence thing when you go into a meeting. Let me ask you this. If you're going into a meeting, would you rather be overdressed or underdressed?
Over. Always. So quick story. When I first started working for the Biz Foundry, Jeff, I'm in an interview. So of course I have nicer clothes on. And he goes, well, we really don't dress up unless somebody's giving us a check or if somebody dies. And I was like, okay, so it's kind of casual around here.
So the next time I see you dressed up, I'm asking, did you get a check or somebody died?
Who died? So I go to a meeting. He invites me to a UCDD lunch.
So I heard about this on your podcast, your other podcast, where you're talking to my boss.
Yeah. Yes. So, so I show up and, it's all the county and city mayors, and I have jeans and a tank top on, and city and county mayors are usually suit people, men and women wearing business suits. Right. And I'm like,
shout out to Mark Farley.
Holy cow. Like he did not warm. I mean, I'm like a month into the job. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I felt so uncomfortable in that situation where it was really one of my first kind of career opportunities to realize you always overdress if you don't have a clue what's going on.
So if you're listening to this and you're wondering what you should do, I agree. I think you should always overdress.
What's the big picture is that you always overdress.
I agree. Do you overdress so much to where? Do you wear like for men? Do you wear a tie or you just wear a sport coat?
I mean, if you really have no clue, maybe you put the tie on and because you can
always
take it off. Women, it's a little bit harder, but like for me in the summertime, I wear a dress pretty much all the time. And people will say, "Oh, you're so dressed up," and it's like, well, what am I going to wear? Shorts? Like that's not, Of course,
I have my youngest daughter is going through that phase where all she wants to wear is dresses. Yeah. So
they're if you can have kind of casual
it's like a dress, formal version of shorts,
right? And you can be kind of casual, so you can make it so it's comfy, but yet it's a dress still, so it feels like other people kind of view it as it's fancier. So that's a good. I mean, I think there's always hacks to both men and women. Of like you said, you could have a t-shirt on or just a plain white t-shirt and put a sport coat over it, and
it totally changes the look.
It changes it, yeah. So.
I like that. Well, let's just jump right into drinking the Kool-Aid. This is probably going to be
drinking the Kool-Aid.
Drinking the Kool-Aid out of our. Why did I get a Biz Foundry?
I got a cat mug. I need coffee. Meow meow. My kids.
I'm going to drink this Kool-Aid. Don't worry, it's not Kool-Aid. It's water.
Drink it. Actually, maybe it's vodka. Is it vodka?
No, it's water.
Okay.
We're on a strict diet.
We don't know what's in mine.
We're drinking water.
Drink the Kool-Aid. Let's go.
Let's talk about, from a business owner's perspective, and we've had this conversation a bunch, giving away free stuff.
Yeah.
Is that beneficial if you are a small business owner?
Or
does it kind of depend on the context?
I think it definitely depends. I think you have to be aware, especially in a community like this where there's 7,000 nonprofits and people are.
We have 7,000 nonprofits?
I think so. The cause of causes that support causes on top of causes. Like everybody has some philanthropy that they're fundraising for. And so they're always asking every business owner, donate to this or give me money for this or, whatever.
Right.
And so there are times where it's really important. There are times where you have to kind of look at what you're doing. So I just was talking about this the other day with some people. I did the All Good Liquor by the Drink campaign for us to get liquor in All Good. And I had a graphic designer that gave away the artwork to me for free. But they knew that was going to be a connection that was going to take a longer path with them. And so they were like, okay, this is $150 graphic design work. Done. No big deal. I won't charge you. This is, you're doing something for the community. And I've gone back and I've worked with that person a lot longer.
When you look at something like that, is it hard to value that free stuff? So like we go back to the whole thing about I'm really big on networking. When you give something away, is there ability for you to network through that free piece of whatever, whether it be a non-tangible gift, whether it be like a service?
I think you look at that. I think you try to make sure that that's why you're giving it away for free. Another thing, people come and ask for donations for the Biz Foundry all the time. So we'll donate the event space. So the marketing ploy is that somebody's going to, whatever group it is going to get money for the donation of that. And then we get all these people into our space and they get to see what we have there.
So it's like free marketing.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah. So I think that there, sometimes businesses will sponsor a Little League team or whatever. Yeah, now your shirt, your logo is on this team shirt, and all the parents that are there,
and then they wear it afterwards.
Yeah.
Or like, so I agree. Do you give stuff out to keep up with the Joneses? Let's go down that road.
Ooh, bringing the heat, Tyler. No, you do. I don't think you give stuff out to keep up with the Joneses, because I think you need to look at your financial setting, your picture. You don't look like the big man on campus, because you're going to not be on campus if you can't keep up with that.
Correct.
But I am a firm believer of giving and it will come back to you. So
I'm a big fan of gratitude reciprocates, because I think if you're always giving, you're always doing things, I think it's going to come back to you. It always does. So I hate to go back. In the insurance world, I did this a ton. People would come to me and say, hey, can you look at these proposals, or can you look at my insurance and go through this? So I would sit down and we would go over line by line. We would go through the whole thing. And then I would quote it and I would say, hey, now listen, mine's more expensive, but there's some changes you need to make to yours so that you'll be either better covered, you might save some more money, it might just be a better fit, or there may be things you need to add, like you need to add another policy to be covered correctly.
yeah.
And people got more out of that than me selling them actual policy, because they were educated. They felt like, hey, I can make a good informed decision.
You developed a relationship.
And I developed a relationship. Mm-hmm. And most times they would come back every year. Hey, is it gotten any cheaper? Can we look? They would be more apt to refer people to me that I would write business from. Hey, so-and-so referred me to you. They said you would explain, you would help me understand what I'm purchasing, versus I just go online and I click a few buttons and then bam, I get a price.
Right.
That's where I come up with gratitude reciprocates. Because I think if you're always giving, you're trying to do good, I think it always will reciprocate. It always comes back. It
always comes back. So I have a background in nonprofits, and so I used to do fundraisers for the Children's Museum. And the first year we did it, we had these box lunches that Chick-fil-A had donated, and we wanted to charge $8 per box for them. Well, a family of four, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
But we're trying to raise money for the Children's Museum, so we're like, well, everybody's going to do it because it's great. We had like 400 extra meals at the end of the day because
you had a lot of waffle fries.
Correct. The next year I said I was the chairperson for it, and I said our motto was don't be greedy. So we're trying to do the best we can, but we're not going to be greedy. We're not going to try and nickel and dime everything. And we ended up raising more money the second year. We charged $4 for the kids' meals instead of $8, and we ended up raising more money, and we didn't have so many waffle fries left over.
Shout out to Ben Prano, like me some waffle fries.
That's right.
Do you think that
maybe if he wants to sponsor the podcast, we can get some.
We'll put some Chick-fil-A mugs up here.
That's right.
Do you think that sometimes too, that maybe the pressure's off? Do you think that that's what caused maybe an increase, or? For
sure. I think when you take that pressure away, that you have to get the sale, and you're going into things for the good of it. And so you genuinely were meeting with these people and giving them advice, not thinking, okay, I better close this deal. You're thinking, I just genuinely want to help this person, and it'll come back when it needs to come back, or it won't. And so I think that that's when it does take the pressure off, and it really lets you just kind of focus on developing that relationship and trusting in it will come back.
Do you think that is why we are so busy? Because we do give out a lot of our stuff is free.
Yeah.
We give a lot of stuff out, but we also allows us to create a lot of networks to where we get to help other people. Do you think that is, I don't want to say good, but I want to say that you think that's what has helped us propel to where we're at.
I think so. And I say this a lot, is like, I like the fact that I work for a nonprofit. So we're not, and it's the company culture, which is a totally another topic that we can talk about at some point. But Jeff instills that we give and we're collaborative and we're not looking for who, we have funding that comes from the state that we need to turn in reports to, but it doesn't matter who gets the credit for things. We just want to help. We want to do good. We want to impact this community. I love the fact that we're not always looking at the bottom dollar. We both give away a huge value to this community that we don't see a dime for.
Yeah, and I'm one of those, I don't really care who gets the credit as long as that individual or business gets taken care of and they get what they need to help survive, because I'm a firm believer it's always going to come back to you. It just does.
And it really impacts the community. If we have a thriving small business community and entrepreneurial community, it's a better place to live in. And it's just, economic dollars coming into our community. And there's just a lot that it raises the community up.
Just because you gave things or you helped or you went above and beyond. I think that's...
I drink that Kool-Aid for sure. So do you think I ask people for a lot of things and a lot of the stuff I do. So do you think there's a point of asking too much? Because I do think sometimes people come into, well, I want this for free and I want that for free and I want that, how do you as the customer know what's the line to cross?
Before you get there, you have to kind of have some clear expectations or, hey, this is what I need to accomplish by you doing this. There's some questions that probably get left off when people start asking for free stuff that they don't, they should ask, like, who's going to be in front of this? What value does it have for me? Does that make you check them out? Or would you rather have some time, something that's like more real?
Definitely developing relationships other than just giving out gifts is more, a relationship is going to take you long. It's going to take your business longer and farther with somebody. But like you said, there's a lot of value in people's time.
At the end of the day, we're going to go into
At the end of the day, we're going to get some small business statistics.
Some of this is kind of...
Am I guessing again? I like guessing.
You like guessing again?
Okay.
This is probably something that's kind of near and dear maybe to both of our hearts, because we do work with these small businesses every day, day in, day out. We're with them through the grind. We're with them when sometimes like people just need you to listen. Like they just need to like vent out what they got going on, and you tell them, hey, it's okay. I'm going to go shout out to my March Madness. You survive and advance. And that is a March Madness basketball term. But I feel like that's a daily fight for a business owner. Sometimes you just have to survive and advance the next day. I want you to guess.
Okay.
There are blank million small businesses in the USA.
Small businesses are 500 employees or less. Correct. In the United States.
No, that's what the SBA defines as small business.
Okay. Million. How many million? Is that what?
How many million?
12.2 million.
Incorrect.
Higher or lower?
Higher. Last guess.
32.6.
Wow. 30.7 million small businesses in the USA.
Wow. That's a lot of small businesses.
How many jobs do small businesses create annually?
It's a lot, because 500 employees is a lot of people. How many jobs do small businesses create? Is this the question?
Yeah. How many annually? They create annually.
Oh,
so they create them every year.
5 million.
Incorrect. Last guess.
Higher or lower?
Lower.
78,000.
Incorrect. 1.5 million jobs are created annually.
Wow.
Through small businesses.
Interesting.
Over what percentage of the business population represents small and medium-sized businesses?
For the United States.
For the U.S.
What percentage is small and medium businesses? Is that what we're saying? 78.2.
That is incorrect.
Higher or lower?
Higher.
Woo!
So, but think about this. Think about like you talk about a large company, Walmart.
Right, yeah. It's 92.
90%. Are you looking at my phone?
I feel like I'm always guessing 2% over. No, 90%. That's a lot. Mm-hmm.
That is. So this last statistic is actually it makes a lot of sense on this one.
Okay.
Millennials and Gen Zers,
which we are both millennials.
We are both millennials. Are blank percentage more likely to create a side business compared to a baby boomer?
A baby boomer?
Uh-huh. And it's a big percentage.
98% more likely.
Incorrect. It's
88.
Higher. It's higher than that.
Higher than that? 100% more likely? I mean, I don't know.
That's still incorrect. They're 188% more likely to create a side hustle or side business than a baby boomer. So it's like
I don't understand how you can be 180. I don't know.
But if you,
I haven't met.
all right, you do 1 out of 2, who has a side hustle?
2 out of 2?
Well, like between me and you, who has a side hustle?
You. I kind of have a side hustle too, but
all right. That goes to my point of why it's 188% higher.
yeah.
Thanks for staying tuned up. Shout out to Mark Farley for letting us do this. Shout out to Jeff Brown for them like collaborating and taking over the Upper Cumberland. That's kind of their funny plan.
Domination.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for
Make
tuning.
sure that you like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your neighbor, tell your dog that you like. Cash in the check.
Have a great day.